Hi, good evening. Welcome to Anti-Anxiety Action Group Live. I'm Caroline. I'm an anti-anxiety specialist. I set up this group to support, inspire and motivate you to take small, consistent action in your life to control, reduce and eliminate unhelpful feelings of anxiety. This series of chats has been with all kinds of experts in different areas, exploring ways that you can support yourself. And this week is absolutely no different at all. As always, if you've got any questions or any comments, do pop them in the comments and the chat below. We won't be able to see your name. It's just part of the software that we use, but say hello anyway. And if you want to put your name in the comments, then we know who you are. Now, this week, we're talking to a fellow hypnotherapist and a wonderful friend, Kerry Potts, and she's going to talk to us about toxic relationships. So let's get her on. Hi, Kerry.
Hello, Caroline. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Very well, thank you.
Good. So, Kerry, let's start off by you just telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, a Reiki master, and I specialise in helping women who have been in or are on the verge of leaving toxic relationships in order to give them their identity back if they haven't got one, to enable them to see forward somewhere where they, will be the person that they've always wanted to be or deserve to be.
So you specialise in helping women.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we have had somebody ask, is the support or the process that men in that kind of position need, is it any different whatsoever?
No, in fact, I've seen a couple of clients recently who have been men in the same situation. They've been in a place where they've not felt good enough, where they've been, mentally abused by their partners. And it's exactly the same process as well for men. The only thing I would say is that sometimes men find it quite hard to speak out about any sort of abuse that they may be experiencing, purely because men aren't supposed to moan about that sort of thing. Men are supposed to be strong.
What they've got in their mind. Yeah.
Exactly. And also it's often how they've been brought up, because a man will generally go for a narcissistic female partner because they've had a narcissistic mother. So that's generally what we're looking at with men. But no, exactly the same process. It's all about that self-esteem and that inner love, and that giving them back what they feel they're missing and have to find in somebody else.
Yeah, so this chat is just going to be helpful for everybody. So welcome to all of you. And Kerry, just so that we've got a bit of an idea, what is a narcissist?
Okay, so there's, we've got this idea. I'm sure most people have got an idea of what a narcissist is, but there can be different types of narcissists. We all think that it's somebody who just thinks, they're amazing, and who sort of talks down to people and just loves themselves, really. But there are different types of narcissists. That would be called, like possibly a psychopathic narcissist who really doesn't care about anybody else. It's his way or the highway, and whoever he tramples on along the way really doesn't matter. But you've also got covert narcissists who aren't that grandiose type, who are actually more sneaky. They're the ones that appear to be really kind and loving and wonderful people, but actually they have another face to them. They have another mask, I suppose. They hide behind a mask, and it's all show. And then, they're the main two. And even recently I found out there was a third type, which is somebody who's more cowardly, but still very manipulative. So I think there's been a lot of misinformation around about narcissism. It seems to be quite an sort of a topic that everybody is hearing about, lots of memes on there, lots of sort of things about it, but it's not as clear cut as people would think it is.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where you kind of, on the surface of it, you just go, well, if you know that your partner's a narcissist, why don't you just walk away? But I guess it's not as easy as all that, is it?
No. And so a narcissist would have picked their supply for a reason. The reason a narcissist would have picked you for supply is that they would be looking for either a mother figure, if it's a female partner, or even in business relationships and things like that, where they're around men, they'll be looking for father figures. So you could say that a narcissist is really stuck between the ages of about 6 months and 18 months.
Oh, wow.
It's like they never grew up, like the Peter Pan of person. They never had the nurturing as a child, so they're always looking for that parental role somewhere else.
I think that's interesting what you just said, that they could also be looking, it's not necessarily just romantic relationships.
No, absolutely not. I don't, most people have had that boss that has treated them like a child, or that boss who has wanted something done a certain way, and actually being, bullied you. I know that I did. Prior to becoming a hypnotherapist, I was a teacher, and I worked in a private school, and the headmaster owned the school, and he was a narcissist. Looking back now, I can recognize that in him. And he treated all the staff like they were pupils at the school, and he was just horrendous, really, really nasty, horrible person. But the thing with narcissists is, when you're in a situation with them, it's really only when you step outside of that bubble that you're in with them that you can look and you can see exactly who these people were and what their motives were at the time.
So how do they suck you in, so to speak? So what's the effect that they have on you as a person? Not on you personally, but on one. So,
as I said, like a grandiose narcissist is usually very, very charming, very, very inspiring, and they come across as people that you want to hang around. They can often be very handsome, they can be very alluring, and they can pull you in that way. And the covert narcissist, again, they come across as really nice people. And the other thing with the covert is that they often have a sob story. So all the people around them will be abusing them in some way, doing this, that, and the other, and they'll come along with this sob story, and they will reel you in with that until you feel sorry for them and you want to help them, and then that's it. Once they've got their hook in, it's very, very difficult to then escape. And the tactics that they use as well to hold you there, they have a whole range of tactics that, where if you want to leave, they try and pull you back, because it's always on their terms. So if you were ever to want to leave them, that would be a no-no. They'd try their best to reel you back in.
And I can see how that would help. That would sort of make it difficult for somebody it would really knock your confidence. And I think I can understand how, especially if you've been in involved in a relationship like that for a while, you could really lose yourself. And as your specialism is helping people find themselves again, what does that look like?
Well, the thing is, if people have strong boundaries, they have high self-esteem and confidence within themselves, they wouldn't allow that to happen. And it's about recognizing that that is why they ended up in that situation. So it's about building up that woman or man's self-esteem, confidence. And as I said at the beginning, it can often be a case where they really don't know who they are. They may have gone from one relationship to another, or they may have only ever had one in their entire life. And they may not truly know who they are at all. So it's about bringing that person, that inner being through and out into the future, and actually visualizing and almost creating that future that this person wants, obviously without the other person in their lives, because some women that I've helped couldn't actually see their lives without this person, no matter how horrible they were to them, no matter how much mental and sometimes physical abuse they were getting from them. They were still trapped there because they just felt like they would be nothing if they left.
So we have had a comment, and I'll pop it on the screen. So it needs to be said, not all men are the same. That's so right. As we've said just a few minutes ago, you may not have seen that. Not all men are narcissists by any stretch of the imagination.
Absolutely not.
And also, women can be the narcissists. So this is about personality traits, not gender.
Absolutely.
We're probably just saying he because that's the experience with the individuals we've got.
And a man is actually more likely to be a narcissist than a woman. That's a fact. But no, of course not. It is just a type of personality. It is just a type of personality. So would you like me to give you some patterns that narcissists actually have? Would that be helpful?
Yeah, I think that would be really helpful, so that we can sort of start recognizing when we might be dealing with a narcissist.
Yes. Okay, so the first one is that they really don't have any shades of grey to them at all. It is either black or it is white. There is nothing in between. When something happens, it will either be you were right or you were wrong, or you will be right or you will be wrong. And if it's not agreeing with them, you'll be wrong. Okay, they don't see any way to actually meet you in that. There's no middle ground with them. That's it, right, wrong. And actually, if you do anything to them that they deem disrespectful, that's it, you'll be punished for it. That was pattern one. So pattern two is catastrophization and permanency. So what that means is that if you do something that annoys them or that wrongs them in any way, they will bring that up over and over and over and over again against you. That is never forgotten in their eyes. You've done something, and that will be there in their memory to bring up time and time and time again. The pattern three is that they think that they know you better than yourself. That is absolutely 100% they think that they have superior knowledge over you and that they know you better than yourself. So if you think that you can make excuses for certain things, they will pull you in and they will go, well, actually, you shouldn't have done that because you know you shouldn't have done that because you're not good enough at that. You know, that is something they will use that to bring you down, and they will keep going over and over with that. Pattern 4, I'm doing this for your benefit. They will do acts of selfless duty, and they will actually give help to people who don't actually want it. Now, this is really interesting because you may even have friends around you who do that, who want to help you, who offer to help you all the time. Can I do this for you? Can I do that for you? Actually, I don't need help. And they will go on and on. And you may think that's really nice. That's kind of them to do that. But actually, there can often be a hidden agenda behind that. And it's because they want people around them to see what a loving, giving, humble human being they are. And it's all part of the act. The other thing with that is, I'm doing this for your benefit. Well, you need this because you are this. It's the labeling that they give you. And also they like to know that they're helpful because you're completely worthless to them. You know, you're worthless, so you need their help with something. You know, they like to have that hero thing. Pattern 5, trapped by your own words. So again, to do with the pattern 2, where they can bring things up against, even though they appear to be not listening to you at all. It's almost like when you talk to a narcissist, they don't care about you, they don't listen at all, but actually they do. They listen really, really acutely to everything you say, so that they can pull you up on certain things. And again, they can use their things that you said, and you can be trapped by your own words. They will bring something up that you have said, and they will twist it, or they will say, right, well, you said this. And again, it's a game to them. It's almost like they're in a virtual reality of their own, and you're just a player in their game. They don't see you as a person of any value, unfortunately. Again, anything you do wrong will be used against you in evidence, that sort of thing. Pattern 6, really, really, really common, is finalization, the end of the matter. So they will shut down a debate. If they think that you want to reply to them or answer them about anything, they'll just shut it down. They can't be allowed to be proved wrong, so they'll either change the subject or they'll block you. Very, very common. Blocking on social media, that's quite a usual technique now. Obviously, that wasn't available back then, but easily done. And just cuts off communication. They're right, you're wrong. Pattern 7, I'm warning you. Indicators of violent threats. If you do that again, I'm going to do this to you. If you do that again, I'm going to do that to you. And again, if you start backing off, they will come back at you with whatever they have, you know. Pattern 8. They ask loaded questions to deny any hidden agenda. So, what are you doing tomorrow? Leads to questions where you can end up in an impossible position to say no. So, what are you doing tomorrow? If you said that to a narcissist, why are you asking? Why are you asking that? Why do you need to know that? They don't like to give you answers to simple questions. And there's, as I said, it's like, it's so obvious. You can, when you're not living in that situation, it is so obvious to see it in other people. But like I was when I was in this situation, I didn't even think about it because it was the normal behavior.
Yeah.
And the thing that they do as well is that they go through a process. So a narcissist will pick whoever, his new supply, to enter into a romantic sort of drama with, I suppose. And when they've picked you for their supply, you enter into this shared fantasy. So they will do their best to make you, if you're male to female or female to male, your mother or your father, okay, or their mother and father, sorry, not yours. And obviously that is a bit strange because, you know, of the sexual things, but we're talking about, and they objectify you to become that. So they expect to get everything back from you that they would have got from their mother or their father if it was a business relationship, perhaps. They're very inconsistent as well. You'll often see them going through lots of different jobs. You'll often see them going through lots of different business partners, and generally they won't ever stay faithful, because that's really not what they're about. You know, they're about excitement, and they're about getting whatever they need, all their needs met by whoever is there to take it, really. So if you imagine that you're just suddenly pulled into this shared fantasy, then they may begin to start love bombing you, telling you everything that you want to hear. They know what you want to hear, and the reason they know what you want to hear is because they know that you don't believe that about yourself.
Yeah.
A male narcissist would never go for a woman who is confident, would never go for a woman who knows her own mind, who has got, you know, self-esteem through the roof. They know that wouldn't work with them. The same with a female narcissist. They wouldn't go for a man like that. You know, they know that they've already got potentially a broken supply who they can really just cripple even more. So yeah, that's
the best thing we can do to stop people getting into these toxic relationships is to really help each other to be confident and be able to stand up on our own.
Absolutely. You know, when you know your sense of self, when you know that you've got high self-esteem and confidence, and you know your own worth, there's no way you would end up in a relationship like that.
Yeah, you just wouldn't put up with it.
No, absolutely not.
And so I guess that's really what you're focusing on. And unfortunately, it tends to be people that have already been through that come to you. But yeah, let's work with our teenagers and our younger kids and really make sure that they get that sense of self.
Absolutely.
So that they don't ever get themselves into that situation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it's really important. But also, it's very common for children of codependents to end up in relationships like that themselves. Codependents are the partners usually of the narcissists. So it's like a learned behavior. So it's about showing that these young people that actually you don't have be in the same sorts of relationships, and say, well, that actually isn't normal, that isn't what you should strive to be, or even accept is okay. Because it's all about acceptance, and if you think that's what a relationship will be like, you will pick somebody who will give you that experience.
So what's the main things that you work on with people? So you look at their self-esteem and build up their confidence and their self-worth. Is there anything else? You're looking at boundaries and things like that? Yeah,
well, to start with, I'll look at what's happened and help them to clear any trauma that they may have experienced. And usually their self-esteem. I've had clients who, the first question I ask them is, how much do you love yourself? Out of 100, I've had 5, I've had 7. It's extremely sad, and the first thing I'll do is remind them of something that they were amazing at, something that, a time in their life where they were, full of confidence, or they achieved something. Bring that back into them and get them to feel that, how it felt when they did something, so that they can actually be reminded that that was part of them at some point. But a lot of work as well on boundaries, because, as I said, with if the boundaries are there, you wouldn't allow it, because whatever somebody wants to do to you, at the end of the day, unless it's physical violence, which is slightly different, but you can't, it's your, get my words out, it's your responsibility to say, no, that's not okay, and to actually do something about it. Nobody can tell you what to think. So anybody who's in that situation where it's not physical always has the option for getting out or not getting into it. And if boundaries are there, it's still, you're still agreeing to it. So it's about building the boundaries up. In a nutshell. Strong boundary and self-esteem and confidence. And
building those boundaries in an existing relationship where you have almost a pre-agreed boundaries, it can be really difficult to change that. So it's almost, you don't have to walk away, but you just got to know that, I guess, if you're going to stay in that relationship, it's going to be very, very hard work to build those
because
boundaries.
You'll never be right. You'll never be right. And you can never tell them anything derogatory. You can never do anything wrong. This is the thing. It's an impossible relationship to be happy in, because you're always treading on eggshells. You can never be yourself, because you are not allowed to speak your truth in a relationship like that. So yes, it's but many, as I said, many people in relationships like that don't recognize that until they start looking at what's going on from an outside point of view, which is also what I do. I remove them from the situation, and I get them to look back at what happened, or I get them to look at what is happening, because I do have clients who are in relationships wanting to leave, but just can't, because they think that they, like a fish out of water, they don't think that they'll survive without this person.
Yeah.
No matter how horrible, derogatory, abusive he is, or she is. So yeah, it's about building that person up to know that they deserve better.
Yeah. So we normally only run for half an hour, but Kerry's very kindly said that she will do a guided self-hypnosis for us. So if there's anyone there who really wants to be able to set strong boundaries and to feel like they're confident to do that, then this is going to be for you. So I will go quiet and I'll let Kerry do her hypnosis for us.
Fabulous. So what I'd like you all to do is just to make sure that you're somewhere safe and somewhere comfortable. And I want you just to imagine that you've got a seatbelt wrapped around you to keep you safe and secure at all times. I'd like you now just to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, just take a nice deep breath in and out. And just allow your mind just to wander for a moment. And then just let go. Just take your body now. Just all the way down. Deeper and deeper. Just imagine all the muscles and the nerve, the fibers and the cells of your body just relaxing now. As you let go of any stress and any strain that you've been holding on to today. Just imagine now that all those little muscles around your eyes are just relaxing so much that they won't work. So when you know they won't work, I just want you to try to test them. And the more you try to test them, the more relaxed you become. So just allow a big wave of relaxation to travel from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes, into every part of your body now. That's right. Just listen to the sound of my voice. Nobody wants anything from you or needs anything from you right now. All you've got to do is just relax and listen to the sound of my voice. So I want you now, as you go deeper now, I just want you to imagine that your boundary is all the way around you. I want you now just to notice your psychological boundary. And I want you to think or notice, sense, feel or see. What is it made of? And does it need repairing at all? Are there any gaps? Is it broken in any place? And when you've noticed that, I want you now just to notice your breathing. And with every breath in, your boundary becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. So take some nice deep breaths in and out. And on each in-breath, your boundary becomes stronger and stronger. And with every out-breath, I want you to move anything that's currently inside your boundary that you can't control. That you have no influence over. Maybe it's an old habit or a belief, someone else's opinion, or anything else that serves no purpose to you. So I want you now to push that outside of your boundary, because there's nothing there that you can control. So you can do that on every level. Even a feeling can be moved outside your boundary. So continue to keep doing that with everything that pops up. Your subconscious can move things out, even outside of conscious awareness. Notice now how good that feels. And like skin, it lets things in and it lets things out. And what you can also do is, with every breath in, you can move things that are outside your boundary inside your boundary. Things that are helpful, things that you can influence, and some things that you do have control over. You can bring new learnings or resources, new beliefs, and your own strong opinions. And as you do that, your subconscious can also move things in that are helpful, but outside of conscious awareness, that will enable you to help to resolve any issues that you have. So this is both a conscious and a subconscious process that is now attached to your breathing. And you can continue doing this through day-to-day life and even whilst you're asleep. So just notice now how good that feels, now that anything that is out of your control is pushed outside of your boundaries. Anything unhelpful is left outside of your boundaries. Any of those negative beliefs, those worries, those thoughts are outside of your boundaries. And even those toxic people are outside of your boundaries. And as you bring in within your boundaries, with that in-breath, just feel yourself now, the beautiful golden light. Feel it just pulsing all around your body, filling you with positivity and self-love and happiness and confidence to be who you are. No longer that person who says yes when they mean no. No longer that person who will agree to whatever anybody asks of them. That person who will stand strong in their beliefs. That person who will stand strong and speak their own truth. And just take a few deep breaths in and out, and just bring in that beautiful warm golden light, cleansing and healing you from any hurt and any pain. And in the future, something may pop into your mind, and your subconscious or know what to do with that? Is it something important that needs to be addressed, or is it something that you really don't want to deal with, that you shouldn't have to deal with? Is it something you will accept, or is it something that you truly don't deserve to have? Okay, so in a moment I'm going to be bringing you back, and when you come back you're going to return having resolved all those issues with your boundaries, having grown in strength, being ready to stand your ground with a new confidence and a new zest for life, knowing your worth. So 1, starting to come back now. 2, all the sounds around you returning consciously. 3, just imagine cool, fresh mountain water clearing out your ears, eyes, nose and throat. 4, just imagine a lovely cool breeze across your face. And 5, open your eyes, have a big stretch. Wakey.
Oh, that was excellent. What you find with hypnotherapists and hypnotists is we never miss an opportunity to go into hypnosis. What a treat for somebody else to be doing it.
Fabulous. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Kerry, I need to try and think what I was going to say. So you'll put all your contact details in the comments so that people can get hold of you.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on replay, any questions, put them in the comments. Kerry will keep an eye on them. And other than that, thank you, Kerry, so much. It's been fantastic. Amazing. I'm just going to take you off the screen. I'll wrap up and I'll come back to you.
Okay.
But thank you very much. It's been great. So, I think you can all agree that was fantastic. Lovely to have some hypnosis as well. If any of you have got any questions for Kerry, please pop them in the comments and she'll put her contact details in there. If there's anything that I can do to support you, get in touch anytime, and you can get in touch with me either through Facebook or my contact details are on there. There'll be no live chats for the next couple of weeks because I've got uni stuff on, but I'll be back with you in a few weeks. And please get involved in the group and ask your questions and take care. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.